love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Amy joins us online. Amy, good morning. Welcome to Money Matters. What's going on? How can I help?
So I'm thinking about retiring in like 4 or 5 years and wondering what steps I should take now to be positioned well then. I have a financial planner, and he keeps on saying I need to figure out my expenses when I retire, and that will tell me if I'm in a good position or not. So I probably have about $1.4 million through 401k and other investments, but plan to be mortgage free by then. Don't know what I should do.
Well, a couple of thoughts here, Amy. So you're 4 to 5 years out, so you have obviously some time. A lot of emphasis gets put on, hey, what's your budget going to be? And most folks I have dealt with over the years and helped, it really is it's very, very tough to know the answer to that. Now, you can get a pretty darn good idea, of course, so you can just track your spending. You can go and say, look, I spend most of where my spending is on my American Express bill or my Visa bill. And then in addition to that, I've got a mortgage and I've got my utilities and I have my property taxes and I've got a couple other major things that don't go on my credit cards. But so I'll take all of that and I'll mash it up with all of my credit card spending, which is easy and trackable. And I'll say, oh, wow, okay, so the family here is spending $8,000 a month. Well, in retirement, it tells me, and I've read articles that say I need 92% of my pre-retirement spending. And I find that to be really misleading for a lot of families, because a couple of really major events happen. Now, Amy, your mortgage is already gone.
Almost gone.
Okay.
It's a very low balance.
So it's going to be gone if you fast forward 4 to 5 years. That's a giant number that goes away of your monthly spending. So you're going to have to, you really want to factor this in 2 major ways. Yes, your initial spending from, let's say you track this over the next 6 months and you take an average. And you say to yourself, well, okay, we're spending $8,000 a month on average, but 2 of that is the mortgage. So really, if you fast forward to retirement, you're only spending 6. The other thought here is that, and I've read plenty of articles that say that your spending goes up in the first few years because now you're traveling, you're doing all these things you didn't have time to do. I almost never see that happen. So unless you are into some big house renovation or you've got some big family problem to deal with, or you're still paying for kids in their school, 95% of the time, I see spending go down right away. So really that very first year, it goes down almost all the time. So I think it's pretty easy for you to get a good idea of what your spending is going to be. You have plenty of time to do that. And just know that it should be, I think if you plan for 75 to 90% of what you're spending today, make sure you count the mortgage. And by the way, the only variable, Amy, that is probably too far away to really get a good handle on is healthcare. How old will you be when you retire in 4 to 5 years?
I will be 60.
So so this is probably the biggest variable that it's going to be unsolved for today, and that's your healthcare costs. So what do you do between 60 and 65 when you get Medicare? We don't know what costs are going to be. We do know they're probably going to be higher. So today, a family, if you go out and get healthcare pre-65, you're going to spend anywhere, a couple could easily be spending $700, $800 a month. If you fast forward to when you retire, we don't know what's going to happen to healthcare, but it arguably is not going to get any less expensive. That's the variable that I'd at least count $1,000 a month for, Amy. Until you get to 65, then it's going to come down because of Medicare. It gets less expensive for you, but that's the biggest variable, I believe, that you have to make sure you put it into your budget. So you take away your mortgage is -2. $1,000, your new healthcare costs are going to go up by $1,000, and the 2 other variables that people really forget about when they do their pre-retirement spending number. 1 is the current savings, and 2 is for taxes, because those you may not notice because you're taking out let's say your contributing the full amount to your 401k, and you get your net paycheck. Well, your net paycheck is your salary minus all of those different taxes, which, by the way, those go down in retirement, and your savings. So just remember to back that part of it out, because you're no longer going to be saving. So you don't need that money. It's not part of your budget anymore. And your taxes, your rate will likely, let's just say your rate today is 30, very often it'll go all the way down to 15 because your adjusted gross income is less. So we got a couple deflationary things going on. Your mortgage is going to go away, your taxes are going to go down, and you're no longer saving money. So that part of the budget goes away. So it really just comes down to your discretionary spending. Build in a little bit extra than you're probably paying today for healthcare, and make sure you have a vacation or travel fund inside of that budget, because there's no reason that with $1.4 million today, which could easily be $1.5 million, $6 million, $7 million, $8 million by the time you fully retire. And then you've got a bridge. You're going to have you're going to be in the retirement gray zone for a while, Amy, because you're going to be a young retiree. You've got from 60 all the way to 62 or all the way to 66, depending on when you want to take it, to deal with Social Security. So you're not going to have Social Security in that early stage of retirement. Do you have a pension, by the way?
No, just 401.
So everything's coming from you, and then I suspect Social Security. Have you worked your 40 quarters in the world?
Yes.
Okay. So you will basically be having two major items. You'll have your Social Security at 62 if you want to take it. Now, have you thought about that?
No, I was thinking about doing the whole review, and I heard yesterday there's 27,000 different Social Security rules or regulations, and so haven't factored that piece in yet.
Social Security, I will tell you, for you, it's really just a longevity bet. It's pretty simple. If you want to just maximize what you pull out of Social Security, and you put in a Social Security calculator, you're going to live to 95. It'll tell you to wait until you are 70 to take it. If you say I'm going to live to 82, it might say you should take it at age 63 or 64. So the calculators are they will show you the math on how long it takes to make up for the years you decided to wait on Social Security while the payments go up and up and up, and then you turn them on. And I've got a Social Security calculator on my website too. You can just go to yourwealth.com, yourwealth.com, under the resources tab, and there's a Social Security calculator there. That would be helpful. But just remember the big variables here today. Remember to pull out your spending. Remember to pull out the amount you're going to pay for your mortgage, and then understand that your tax rate, so your net take home, Amy, in retirement, is going to be higher. So factor that into your budget as well. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.